author and nutritionist Robert Ferguson. Please welcome Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Loss Coach, Robert Ferguson!
Boom! Let's get into this. Oh, man. I'm telling you right now, look, if you are not able to hear me share what I'm about to share, what I want you to do, make a note, write it down, do whatever you need to do. Email it to yourself, share it to yourself. And if you miss it, go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you click subscribe, hit that bell. So that anytime I share something, my goal is to make sure I'm sharing something, that is beneficial. And what I'm going to share with you today is very beneficial. And for those of you who know me, especially my clients, the people who I work with, you know that I'm on top of things and I'm always going to keep it real. I am 1000% going to keep it real. And some of what I'm going to share today, I am not happy about. I'm really not happy about. But you got to keep it real. You know what? Because we live in a world, and this is what I mean by that. We live in a world where, let's say I make money because, let's say I work for, Herbalife, right? And I'm selling a product. And let's say I learn something about this product that is not healthy. And I know that this, and I'm looking into it, and I'm intelligent enough, and I can actually figure it out, dig deep, because I really care about my clients if I'm going to recommend something. And let's say that I'm selling this product, and I don't sell Herbalife. I'm using them as an example. It could be any company, but let's say that I sell this product and it has an ingredient in the product that I believe and have done my due diligence that ingredient is not good for the people I recommend the product to. I am the kind of person that will let you know. I may lose money because of it, but I'm going to let you know. And that's why since 1995 in the world of nutrition and weight loss, people respect me. They actually believe me. I'm not just selling something just to sell something. Even if I'm not selling it, I'm not going to talk about something that ain't real. Even going back, to the 80s with my martial arts students and the people that I impacted in their lives during that time, they know me. So I want to jump into this. And the reason why I'm saying I'm not happy about it is because it's a product or it's an ingredient that I actually like, that I use, that in the last few years I've actually encouraged. And my disclaimer, and I could go into great detail, we can do this another time. I personally don't utilize sweeteners, right? I don't use Sweet and Low. I don't use Equal. For a long time, I was okay with sucralose. And the people who follow me and know me, I came clean with that as we discovered that stevia, sucralose, Splenda, Sweet and Low, Equal, they all create a disruption in the gut. And I'm trying, I'm not trying, I'm doing what I can do to optimize my gut health. So then I went to another sweetener that I was encouraging called urethral and monk fruit. So wherever you find monk fruit, you'll find urethral. And of all the data that I've looked at and all the research, even on the gut, we didn't have any data that said urethral was a bad thing. Well, I'm not buying it. And I just spent like $20 on a little thing of urethral where I would use for baking. Now, I may finish it, but I can tell you that I won't buy it again. There's another product that I had recommended called Swerve that you can get in stores. It has monk fruit and urethral in it. For those of you who are catching this, who have been my clients, and I recommend, I apologize. But at the same time, I'm sharing with you a surprise, meaning I'm not recommending that product anymore. And let me just say up front, in case you don't have time, you know what you want to stick with? Honey. If you can get organic and local honey, get it. Regular raw sugar that hasn't been bleached, I'm going with that. Maple syrup. I've always been a believer of maple syrup and honey. Honey's been, I think honey is like God's gift to us. Like it's been around forever. In the Bible, they talk about honey. They pull up Egyptian tombs, 3,500 years old. And guess what they find inside of these tombs? Honey. And it's preserved. It doesn't even spoil. Now, and I also know that there's a lot of dietitians, nutritionists that they just aren't up to date with certain things. And unfortunately, they look at honey as a negative, as high in sugar. These people are part of the problem. Now, if you're one of those people, you can comment. I'll do a live with you. We can talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. Honey is great, and be ready to go down a rabbit hole that's going to put you in a position where you're gonna sink, because I everything that I recommend, I think about my mom, I think about my family, I think about people I love, I think about my kids. I'm not recommending anything to my mom or my kids or my future wife, wherever you are. Because I will do it again. But I'm not going to recommend anything to somebody that I care about and love that I haven't done my work. This is my profession. This is what I do. So I know you guys want to get into it. So I have this paper. I'm just going to read directly because I was going over the study. I pulled up the abstract. Then I went ahead and I purchased all the studies on it. And it's mind blowing to me. So I'm going to read a little bit. And it's interesting in this article that I'm reading is that the people who discovered this, they didn't go in looking for problems with urethral. They just discovered it. And then they did more research. And then they did research on animals. And it was consistent. And so let me go to the end of this. Because the end of it, sometimes we don't want to hear it all. We just want the end. Okay, the end of it says, let's say, oh my goodness. Okay, that's not the part I want you guys to hear. Let me see. I mean, trust me, I called my mom and I said, hey, look for this product. We ain't doing this product. It says the human body, naturally creates urethral, but in very low amounts. And that would not account for the levels that they found in the blood. And what they found in the blood with this product that I have encouraged people to use as a sweetener. And again, this is the things that kill me. I mean, years ago, I had the number one infomercial on TV. Number one. We sold $120 million in like 16 months. I mean, thousands of people still know me today because of that product called Food Lovers Fat Loss. It's my methodology, which has improved. So if you have that, I mean, you need to contact me and get up to date because we've grown. I created that in 2005. That's 18 years ago. A lot has changed. Same as like something like this, urethral. And this is what we know. It's alarming. These scientists are scared because people are going to experience blood clots, increased likelihood of heart attacks, stroke. It's alarming. And it doesn't take much for this to happen. The blood clotting, if you haven't noticed, you're seeing a lot of that happening. And the keto world is going crazy right now because most of the products that they're consuming, the fake products they're consuming, are sweetened with urethral. And I get it. If one of my clients had said, hey, Robert, what do you think of this? I'm okay with it. But anything that's far from nature, I squeamish. And I don't trust a lot of government agencies. They're doing the best they can. And when I say I don't trust them, it's not a personal thing. It's just I know that the FDA, the EPA, there's no way with all the amount of products and the way the legalities are set up and the guidelines, there's no way they can control all of this. So the safest thing we can do, and that's even questionable at times, but the safest thing we can do is stick with things as close to nature as possible. Okay? So this sweetener, urethral, you'll see it in a lot of things. And that doesn't say go back to high fructose corn syrup because that's also an obesogen, which is associated with causing fat cells to be pro-inflammatory, insulin resistance, and all the negatives that go with that. So look for it, you guys. I mean, look for it. And I'm not saying to go throw it away because you have it and you spend a lot of money. When it's gone, my recommendation, don't buy it again. And let's stick to honey and let's stick to maple syrup. No one's arguing those things. Now, you have a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, that are saying that those things are high in sugar. They don't. Stop looking at sugar. That is not the problem. Sugar is not the problem. It's more about the hormone insulin and the levels. And if you have hyperinsulinemia, meaning high levels of insulin in the blood, and doctors are still not, they're still not really They're not checking for it because they don't know. But the science is there. They just don't know. Now, once my friends who are physicians, I share with them papers and research and explain it to them, all of my physician friends are like, oh man, I didn't know that. But once they know, physicians will help you. But if they don't know, you sound crazy to them. Like you read something in the article and they're like, they hear that all the time. They just don't know. And some of my clients have actually gotten me on the phone with their family, practice physicians, and I've been able to have conversations with them, and it's a stimulating conversation. And then they go and they do their due diligence, and in the end, they go, "Wow, I'm glad I met this guy, and I'm glad they were willing to be humble and listen." But most people don't know. So even though, and you can go and Google and check everything that I'm saying, and you'll be like, whoa, it can be worse if you start to Google what I'm saying. But right now, this is all over the news. It's creating major disruption in a lot of products that are like on the shelves. And all I can tell people is, look, your health, your baseline of your health is your gut microbiome. It really is. Your gut microbiome is the base. It's the foundation to building that house. And if your house is built on a deck of cards, we know what's going to happen. And look, you're not going to have to give up so much stuff. I mean, if you ever listen to anything I'm talking about, my people, the people I coach and the people our coaches coach, we're showing people how to eat regular everyday foods. We're not cutting out a lot of things. We're just showing them how to make it healthier. That's the value. Okay. So I'm going to leave the sweetener. Do you guys have any questions about the sweetener? Okay, let me see here. We got Susie in the house. Susie Lopez is the coach. Okay. Susie says, I've been buying monk fruit sweetener because of the taste. I never care for the aftertaste of stevia, which I've never really been a fan of stevia. People think, like, especially a lot of wealthy people or people that have their nose up in the air, they think stevia is all that. They are so clueless. They have absolutely no idea. And that's not being mean. They have no idea. What's mean is having your nose up and thinking that you are eating healthier and better than other people, and you have no idea the negatives around stevia. I mean, I've known about stevia since the 90s, and I knew also about the negatives of stevia in the 90s. So people are real quick to tell me about stevia when I was using Splenda. And I would put Splenda up against stevia, but now both of them to me are in the put in the trash area. So stevia, I mean, okay, you can fool yourself and think you're all that, but it ain't all that. Trust me. And there's some things I could tell you about, and maybe I'll do a whole thing on the science and research around stevia, because there's a lot of health conscious people that are fooled when it comes to stevia. There are health stores that will not carry products with sucralose, which is Splenda, but they'll carry products with stevia. And I look at these people and I just go, I mean, do you not know? And they don't know. That's why you can't trust everybody. You got to do your due diligence. And really, you want to get with someone like me and our coaches, because we keep it real all the way. A lot of people are fooled. They're just fooled. There are people going and getting certified in nutrition, dietetics, and those organizations are teaching them, oh, stevia. And again, it comes from the top. So, hey, urethra, I'm cool. From the top of our organization, hey, I'm not using it. I'm not recommending it. Let's stick with honey, maple syrup, regular sugar. It is what it is. All right. Anyway, Susie says, but honey is my go-to for sweetening my drinks. Yes. Every morning when I have coffee, I sweeten my coffee with honey. And I live in a beautiful county, Ventura County, California, and we have quite a few people that produce honeys. So when possible, I get it raw and I get it local, and I'm really happy about that. And when not, at least I make sure it's organic, and I'm trusting, you're trusting that it is what they say it is. It tastes like. Okay, let's see here. Who else we got there? Someone says, hey, I can't believe that was 18 years ago. Yes. Well, I created the program 18 years ago. That was in 2005. The program, Food Lovers, launched in 2009. 2 months after launching, we were number one. and we would have stayed number one, but that's a whole nother story. But then I just switched and said, I got to keep with the integrity of what I believe in. And since that time, we've done 2 evidence-based clinical studies. I'm happy with it because we're getting ready to do some amazing things and more studies to, again, prove that our methodology, no one can beat us right now. And like I always say, if something comes out better and makes more sense, I will follow that and I will recommend that. But as of right now, there is nothing. So sorry. Okay. Someone else says, now if you ever see Facebook users, it's not that I can't mention, that means you're in one of our private groups. So unless you put your name, I won't know who you are. So someone on Facebook says, Splenda gives me really bad stomach pain, so I use stevia. Well, okay, it may not give you stomach pains, but you may want to get educated and updated because stevia, I wouldn't recommend that to my mom, not me. Someone else says, I'll use what I have and I won't buy it again. Well, God bless you and good for you. Okay. Okay, that's Judy. Judy P. What's up in the house? We have an upcoming coach retreat in Wisconsin. It's for people who are current coaches and people who want to become a coach. So you can reach out to me if you want to learn more about that. But we're going to have a blast. We're going to learn a blast. And this will definitely be part of our time as far as conversation and study. Let's see here. Is Kirkland raw unfiltered honey okay? It doesn't say organic. I don't know. But if it doesn't say organic, I mean, I would say that's better than using these sweeteners. But if you can get organic when it comes to honey, I think that's a little better than, and who knows? I would go to their website and kind of see what they say about it and then go with your gut feeling. And go with your gut feeling. You know what I mean? Like trust your gut. Because many people, they won't listen to their gut. They'll do something anyway, but trust your gut. Did I miss anybody? Okay. Sandy, what's up, Sandy? Reason I've been with you so long. Sandy's been with me for a very long time. And I coach Sandy. I talked to Sandy earlier today. And I'm very proud of you, Sandy. And she has. And she was sharing with me how, I mean, she lost a significant amount of weight and kept it off. I mean, she fluctuated a little bit. And I go, wow, that is something to celebrate. I mean, you're talking over 10 years. You know, most people, the studies say that, 93 to 97% or 90 to 97% of people who lose weight within 5 years will gain all of that weight back. And most of those people, I think it's around 40% will gain more. So to do what you've done, Sandy, that's a true testament to the sustainability and simplicity of the diet-free life methodology. Okay, now I know I got to get to this really important thing, so stay with me. Don't give up on me, you guys. Okay, I think we can do that. Okay, now this is interesting. Anybody who's hung in there this long, if you're a personal trainer, if you're in the field of nutrition, if you are a wellness person, you're like a pro. If I say sit there for 5 more minutes before I even talk about it, it's going to be worth your time. Seriously. And what I'm going to share, like if you guys have a pen and paper, I would get it right now, run, go do what you got to do. And I'm going to share with you this new study, which it's new, but yet it's backed up by a larger study. And it's a game changer. Yep, it really is. Okay. So I'm going to share with you a study where, man, how do you explain this? I'm very excited about this study. And the reason why I'm excited about it is because it supports everything that my gut has said for years. The number one killer, right? The number one killer in America, I think the majority of the world, is cardiovascular disease. Okay, stroke, heart attack. And it's been that way for many years. And it constantly continues to increase. That's why I could talk about what I'm about to talk about in addition to talking about erythritol as a sweetener that is causing blood clots and is increasing cardiovascular risk. Okay. So it makes sense to share what I'm sharing with you right now, this study. Now, to make this study make more sense, let me just say that the loss of lean muscle tissue in this study is a key predictor on your cardiovascular health risk. Now, excess body fat is also associated with it. Yo-yo dieting, you know how people lose weight and gain it back, and lose weight and gain it back. I'll have people say all the time, is that bad for you? Oh, no, it's extremely bad for you. Totally. I mean, people don't live as long who live a life like that. And we know that weight alone is not indicative of health. So just because your weight is good doesn't mean you're healthy. There's many people that have this thing called TOFI, TOFI, thin on the outside and fat on the inside. There's quite a few of those people. You can see it, the data is clear. But this study is alarming to me for quite a few reasons. So if I asked you, or no, let's say you came to me and I meet you and you go, Robert, I lost 50 pounds. I'll go, wow, congratulations. And then depending on your energy, I may say, 50 pounds of what? And then you would go, like, what do you mean? Like, if you lost 50 pounds on the scale, is it all fat? Was it water? Did you lose bone? Did you lose muscle? And they always get like, what do you mean? I go, well, when you step on the scale, you basically have two categories of weight that makes up your weight on the scale. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. You can write this down. I weigh 200 pounds. At least, and I'm being extremely conservative, at least 50% of that 200 pounds is going to be water. And water and fat are two different things. So when you're on the scale, you have your fat weight over here, okay? So that's your fat-free mass over here. And then you have everything else: water, bone, muscle, blood, hair. If you have a belt on, that's all over here. So did you lose all fat, or is it half and half? And they go, it must be fat. I go, oh, so how do you know? You don't know. Well, my clothes are better. I'm smaller. Okay. Have you ever met someone who's gone through chemo and lost a lot of weight? Do they look healthy? No. They didn't lose mostly fat. They lost mostly water, muscle, and bone. That's what they lost. Now, they look good in clothes, and depending on their age, they may even look good, without their clothes, however we perceive what is good. But if you lose muscle and bone, because if I ask the average 61-year-old woman, hey, would you like to lose 10 pounds, but it all comes from bone? Oh, no. And why would they say, oh, no? It's because they don't want osteoporosis. That opens up the door for a whole bunch of other problems. I know a program that is being sold, and it seems like they're growing. And I know some people that actually sell it, which blows my mind. And it's their lack of education and their ignorance on why they sell it, and their greed because they make money from it. So they sell this program where the majority of the weight that people are losing is not fat. It's muscle, bone, and water. So losing weight and it coming from muscle, bone, and water is not healthy weight loss. You have an increased risk of all kind of disease, and that's why this new study, we already knew the other stuff. That's why this new study blows my mind. Okay, so I'm gonna share this study with you because it's interesting. What do you guys think so far? What do you guys think? Did you know what I just shared? Comment. If you're catching me live, comment. Did you know that weight loss comes in different, categories? Did you know that losing weight doesn't mean you're healthier? Did you know that you could lose weight and still have high blood pressure, still have high cholesterol, all those things? Did you know that there's a lot of people losing weight and they're losing the wrong weight? Did you know that most people don't even know what body composition is? And if they say they do and you ask them to explain it, they can't. Did Did you know that body fat percentage is like king? Now, all my personal training friends, they all like, yeah. It's king because once you know your percentage, then you can separate and look at how much of your weight on the scale, how much of your weight on the scale is fat weight and all the other stuff, bone, muscle, tissue, organs. And we don't want to get rid of a liver just to be lighter on the scale. We want to get rid of fat weight over here. We want to get rid of fat weight. Now, we've advanced with some technology, and a lot of these scales, they're not perfect. They're not a DEXA scan. They're not underwater weighing, but they give you an estimate of what your weight is and what your body fat percentage is, and then we can look at that. So when I look at my clients and they call, I'm down 5 pounds, yay! You think I'm excited about that? I look at their body fat percentage, and then I go, yay. Or I go, okay, we gotta make some adjustments. Because I want the majority of their weight to come from their fat, not their lean muscle tissue, not their bone, and not just water weight. So when you do a keto and a carnivore, that initial weight loss, most of it's coming from water because you're not eating enough carbs. And with every gram of carb that's stored in your muscles and your liver, you have additional water up to like three times that, and water attached. And so your weight would be up. So once you stop eating carbs and you go into ketosis, or you get to this place, then yes, you're going to drop some water weight. And the ones who lift weights or are younger and they look great and all that, okay, I have a whole bunch of people that look great and young and all that too. But they're eating carbs and you're avoiding carbs. So for every person you can bring to the table, keto people, carnivore people, paleo people, every person you can bring to the table that's lost 10, 20, 30, 50, all these pounds, I have somebody also. And we eat carbs. That's why when someone, I think most people just don't know what diet-free life is. If they did, I can't imagine them saying no. I really can't, because it makes too much sense. And every time I've been on the board and talked and meet people, they go, oh, I didn't know all that. I have clients right now that didn't know. They just happened to reach out to me on Facebook or LinkedIn, and they became my client. They go, wow, I've seen your lives, I've seen you talk, but I never really understood exactly how you did it. And I get that. There's quite a few people who are doing everything wrong. Seriously. They're doing a lot of things wrong, and the problems are getting worse. I know a whole bunch of fit-looking realtors. They look fit. They look like they got it going on, but they ain't healthy. They got some gut issues. Trust me. A whole bunch of them, not one or two. A whole bunch of them. So when you see people looking a certain way on the outside, yeah, don't believe what you see on the outside. Because I got a whole bunch of them become my client. Many of them are celebrities. A whole bunch of them. Okay. So let's get into this. All right. What's up, Claudia? I'm glad you caught me. All right, here we go. Let's get in. This is important. And here's the deal. Loss of muscle tissue in this study of 1,049 people, the same study in Korea with 3 million people came out with the same outcomes. This study just came out. The loss of muscle tissue better predicts the future of cardiovascular events. If you're losing weight wrong, you're increasing your risk of cardiovascular challenges. See, it's not just about losing weight, it's how you lose the weight. Ooh, that's deep. I just want to take a moment and just breathe. Seriously, I just want to take a moment because I have a meeting coming up. So I can't be on here too. I got 10 more minutes max. But I just want to breathe. That was so important what I just said. So I'm going to say it again. The loss of muscle tissue better predicts a future cardiovascular event than the gain in fat mass over a 5-year period of time. Wow. The people when you turn 50 years of age, from 50 to 80, you're the ones I'm primarily speaking to. Now, someone who's younger, maybe you have an old soul, Maybe you want to be ahead of the curve. Then I'm speaking to you because you will be 50 if you're lucky. But these people who lose muscle, and we start to lose it kind of big time at 50, 60, it really picks up. And as the muscle is being lost because of your lack of lifting weights, you don't perform resistance training, is not part of what you do. You're so focused on the damn scale. All you're like, oh, where's my weight? I'm not losing weight. This ain't working. You're missing the whole damn picture. Because even if you lose weight, if you do it wrong, which is the value of having a coach, someone who's a professional in what they do. I mean, I have people that it blows my mind. I mean, maybe I'm biased. I'm biased, but I'm like, if you're working with me and it's part of your budget and you can afford it, why would you not? One of my clients the other day, I think she's catching this live right now. And you know, I love you and I care about you. That's why we're talking. She decided to like take a break. 3-4 months goes by, she's in the hospital. And shit ain't looking good. Last year, I had 3 people that I coached at one point. They decided to do some craziness. One guy just basically gave up. They're dead now. 3 of them. Now, I coach a lot of people, so it's not like if I'm coaching you, you're going to die. But 3 people that I coached last year died prematurely. One died because of colon cancer, which who knows how that happened, but what she was doing was not helping. The other one died of complications of diabetes, and the other one had a heart attack. And they all were doing great. All their numbers were improving, and out of nowhere, they decided that they wanted to do something different, take a break. And these people take these breaks on their health. So let's say she was paying a certain amount of money. Now you're in a hospital. That hospital bill, even if you got insurance, is way more than anything I could have charged you. And when you're over 50, that shit starts to get important. So anyway, this study is very clear, you guys. The findings emphasize the importance of body composition if you don't want to have a stroke, if you don't want to have challenges. Here's a study right here. This is study I'm talking about. You can look it up, have fun with it. Again, your health is important. I don't care how much money you're making. If you don't got your health, that money don't mean nothing. It means nothing. So anyway, anybody have a question? Anybody, anything you want to share? Let me see. Susie Lopez. So loss of muscle mass, possibility? No, causation. Not possibility, not potentially. No. You're losing muscle, you're dying earlier. And your quality of life may not be what you would want it to be. So get a program, get with something that's going to help with that, okay? Let's see. Sandy says, so scary. Thank you. You always keep it real. We're always going to keep it real. Always. I'm keeping it real. I want to come to Canada sooner than later, if possible. I miss Canada. I really do. Anyway. All right, you guys. I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for letting me share. And I share because I care. If you have not gone to our YouTube channel, please go over there and, hit the like, subscribe, hit that bell so that anytime I upload something like this that could be helpful, you'll get notified. You can watch it at your convenience. Also, if you want to be part of our challenge, let's say you don't know much about what I do or like anything, that's a good place to start. We have an 8-week fat loss challenge, and I'm seeing people get amazing results. Danita, I want to give you a shout out. I told you I would this morning because I'm just blown away with how well you're doing with our daily 10 as part of this challenge. And for those of you who are taking the challenge this week, because every week we add something different to the challenge, this week we're learning how to make vegan meals. That means fat burning meals that don't have protein sources, anything packaged in it. You can use all carbs and fat and make a fat burning meal. So it's really cool. Again, I'm not all about let's just lose the weight. I want you to learn in the progress so that you are better equipped and better able to not just get the results you want, but to live with the results that you achieve. All right. That came out just good. Okay. Until the next one, Robert.